The night was unusually dark, with thick clouds obscuring the moon and stars, casting an eerie, otherworldly aura over the desolate highway. My journey home had been long, and the isolation of the road only heightened my fatigue. I was struggling to keep my eyes open when I first spotted the hitchhiker. As I drove through the empty, winding roads, a dim, flickering light in the distance caught my attention. My eyes strained to make sense of it in the obscurity. It was a flickering carnival sign, half buried in overgrown weeds at the edge of the road. It read, "Dr. Jingle's Funhouse of Horrors." It was a relic of some long-forgotten sideshow attraction, its faded colors and peeling paint. A testament to the passage of time, a shiver ran down my spine as I realized that the hitchhiker was standing next to that dilapidated sign. His presence near that abandoned carnival was an unsettling sight. I could see the rusted remnants of an old Ferris wheel and the eerie silhouette of a decaying clown tent in the distance. The hitchhiker was not the kind of person you'd expect to see on a desolate highway. He stood there, solitary and ominous, his grotesque clown costume a stark contrast to the bleak surroundings. The carnival had been closed for years, and the hitchhiker seemed as out of place as the sign itself. As I pulled over and rolled down my window, I couldn't help but wonder about the story behind this mysterious figure. How had he come to be on this forsaken stretch of road, so far from any semblance of civilization? Was he a former performer at the carnival, now left to wander the night with a deranged mind? The hitchhiker's smile was twisted, the makeup on his face worn and faded, as if it had been applied long ago and never removed. He clutched a tattered, deflated balloon animal, and it was only then that I noticed the carousal of childhood memories scattered around him, forgotten trinkets and discarded toys from the carnival, now abandoned in the darkness. "Need a ride?" I asked, my unease growing. "Thank you, kind sir," he replied, his voice filled with that unsettling glee. I was beginning to think I'd be stuck out here all night. My curiosity outweighed my apprehension, and I allowed him into my car, only to be thrust into a nightmarish journey that would haunt me for the rest of my life. The remnants of the carnival, the abandoned sign, and the hitchhiker's sinister presence all seemed to be connected in some sinister, unspoken way, and I had unwittingly stepped into a world of darkness and horror that defied explanation. The more we drove, the more my fear and curiosity intertwined, propelling me further into a psychological thriller that would forever change the way I looked at the world. As we continued down that desolate highway, I couldn't help but wonder if the carnival's twisted past held the key to the malevolence that now occupied my car, or if it was something even more insidious, lurking in the shadows of the night. He climbed into the passenger seat. And the smell of damp, decaying fabric and old grease assaulted my senses. He settled into the seat, his gaze never leaving me. "My name is Jack," he said, his voice dripping with malice, as if he knew something I didn't. I could feel the unease growing, but it was too late to change my mind. I pulled back onto the road and Jack watched the dark landscape pass by with a disturbing intensity. The silence was palpable, and the only sound was the hum of the engine and the occasional rustling of his oversized costume. I tried to start a conversation to break the tension. "So where are you headed?" Jack turned to me, his sinister smile never fading. "Oh, I'm not headed anywhere in particular. Just wandering, you know. Meeting new people. Exploring the world." I couldn't help but notice the madness in his eyes. It was as if I had picked up a psychopath, a deranged soul wandering the night. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my heart pounding with dread. As we continued down the deserted highway, the atmosphere inside the car grew more sinister. The silence between us was suffocating, broken only by his occasional, maniacal laughter. He would glance out of the window, then back at me, his laughter growing louder with each passing moment. "Why are you out here all alone, Jack?" I finally asked, hoping to understand what I'd gotten myself into. Jack's eyes met mine, and his laughter died down. I'm out here because I can't help myself. I crave the thrill of the unknown, the terror in people's eyes when they realize they've crossed paths with me. I didn't know what to make of his answer, and I regretted my decision more with every passing mile. But there was nowhere to turn, no escape from this nightmare I had unwittingly walked into. Suddenly, Jack reached into his tattered costume and pulled out a rusty, blood-stained knife. My heart raced, and I swerved the car, narrowly avoiding a collision with a road sign. "What are you doing?" I stammered, my voice trembling. Jack's grin widened. "Oh, don't worry, my friend. I won't use this on you. I just like to keep it close, you know, for company." I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I desperately needed to find a way out of this situation. I scanned the desolate landscape for any sign of help or a passing car, but there was nothing in sight. It was just us, the highway, and the darkness that seemed to stretch on forever. Jack's laughter filled the car again, and I couldn't take it any longer. I slammed on the brakes and came to a screeching halt on the side of the road. Before he could react, I threw open the door and ran for my life. My heart pounded in my chest as I sprinted through the darkness, my only goal to put as much distance between me and that deranged clown as possible. Behind me, I could hear Jack's laughter echoing through the night, growing louder and more menacing with every step. I didn't dare look back, fearing what I might see. I ran for what felt like an eternity, my breath ragged and my legs on the verge of giving out. Just when I thought I couldn't go on any longer, I saw the headlights of a passing car in the distance. I waved my arms frantically, and the car screeched to a halt. A kind stranger opened the door and let me in, and I recounted the horrifying ordeal I had just escaped. The police were called, and they searched the area, but there was no sign of Jack the evil clown. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that he's still out there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for his next unsuspecting victim. The memory of that night haunts me, a chilling reminder that evil can take on the most twisted and unexpected forms, hiding in plain sight on a desolate highway, under the cover of darkness.